Graduation Day is one of the proudest moments in the life of every student. The British Council's Innovation for African Universities program wants to help bioscience graduates by supporting a partnership between academics and entrepreneurs across sub-Saharan Africa and the UK so they can start their own businesses rather than struggling to find work. The program aims to strengthen the capacity of the universities to share their knowledge and work together with other higher education institutions and enterprise innovation organizations now and in the future.
In response to this concealed opportunity, the British Council designed and introduced the Innovation for African Universities program, which is part of the Going Global Partnership program. The IAU program aims to foster culture of innovation and entrepreneurship within universities and facilitate the development of knowledge and skills required to build industry, companies, products and services. Additionally, the program is designed to promote the development of Africa-UK Universities Partnership that builds institutional capacity for higher education engagement and entrepreneur and innovation ecosystem in the selected African countries.
Professor Desmond Champon is a Dean of the School of Health and Allied Sciences at the University of Cape Coast. He shares the design thinking approaches.
Design thinking drives on 5 main pillars. That is empathy. We also talked about ideation, prototyping, and then testing. When you talk of the empathy, it is about you going to the people, understanding the problem that they are faced with. So that is the first stage of design thinking. Then we also look at definition. The definition is after going to them, understanding what they are going through, then you put ideas together to find solutions and then understand the problems they're actually going through. Then the third stage is the ideation. That is, you try to put ideas together to solve the problem you have identified in stage 1 and in stage 2 of the design thinking. So at this third stage, a lot of ideas come to mind. So you look at all these ideas and fashion out the one that best suit or solve the problem you have identified. You fashion out the proper ideas that can be developed into solution to solve these problems you have identified in phase 1 and then in phase 2. Then the phase 3 is about the prototyping. The prototyping is you putting the solution you have envisaged to a concrete form or into a tool to solve the problem. So you prototype. So you design something to solve the problem. Then you test your prototype to see if the prototype works. So that is this is what you call design thinking. And this is what our students lack. They are not able to go through these processes, and that is the reason why they are not innovative. So GBPI has, in a way, taken the pain to take students through this process of design thinking to equip them to be able to be problem solvers. So how did we do this? We organize seminars, conferences, and then workshops for these students to educate them as to how to go through design thinking process, so that they can be innovative.
In Ghana, 4 partnerships have been selected to participate in the Innovations for African Universities program. And the Ghana Partnership Network is made up of a total of 13 organizations and a total of 5 Ghanaian institutions. The GBPI project has a goal of thriving collaboration among all Innovation for African Universities projects in Ghana to bring to the attention of the general public the successes and the opportunities available to the youth in the area of innovation and entrepreneurship. Africa boasts of its youth as its greatest asset. It is projected that by 2050, the number of young people in Africa will increase to nearly 830 million. This rise in the working age population might enable higher productivity and greater, even more inclusive economic growth across the continent if it is effectively utilized. With the emergence of COVID-19, the dire situation in Africa only got worse. Layoffs, and reductions in work hours has served as a wake-up call for the entire continent. The lack of employment opportunities is a serious concern all over the world, but the situation in Africa has been considerably worse. So how are the implementing universities positioning themselves to equip the youth to think entrepreneurially? Professor Rosemond Bohini is the Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast.
The first step is to develop that entrepreneurial mindset. And usually it goes with creativity, it goes with innovation, and also it goes with being reflective and also empowering people to develop that can-do spirit. Usually people think, oh, this one I can't do it. If you look at Mark Zuckerberg and where he's gotten to, someone will sit down and say, I cannot do it. But I believe that a journey of 1,000,000 miles begins with a step. And therefore there is a need for us to encourage, especially our young ones, to try and take advantage of opportunities that they see around them. For instance, the School of Agriculture, the D-Hub is helping them select students. They have a challenge, agriculture challenge, so they are helping them to select students so that they can fund them to start their businesses. So although we have these various hubs in there, they work together in unison to be able to nurture and grow the business ideas of students. For instance, now we are even rolling out with the Cosmos Foundation. We are looking at that idea challenge, and it is the D-Hub that is running it for Cosmos. We have the DigiCap project. It is being run by CESED. That one focuses on ICT skills. We want to develop ICT skills. Students can develop app, and it is run by CESED. But at the end of the day, we create synergies. So there are various activities, various hubs are doing various activities.
Professor Bohini indicates the university was tweaking its curriculum to enable students that are trained there to acquire entrepreneurial skills before they graduate from the university. She says making students acquire 21st century skills is the university's current direction, and all structures are being put in place for its success.
Currently, what we are doing is we are revising our curriculum. We have a team that is looking at curriculum development, and what we are trying to do is we want to incorporate the 21st century skills into our curriculum. And you talk about entrepreneurship, you talk about ICT skills, you talk about innovation, you talk about creativity. These are the 21st century skills. And what we are doing now, we've started training or doing stakeholder analysis with the departments and faculties. And we are hoping that in the next 1 year, 2 years, if we are revising our programs, we'll make sure that all our programs incorporate the 21st century skills.
The interventions being pursued by the University of Cape Coast are not different from the measures put in place by the University of Ghana in their drive to make students more productive through entrepreneurship.
And I take the University of Ghana, for example. You have quite a number of students who actually do these activities and then having their stalls on social media pages. If you go onto the Instagram, for example, you see quite a lot of my students owning stalls. Either they're selling clothes, they're selling hair, products, they're selling fashion stuff, or they're doing food, they're doing crafts and selling. So there are quite a lot of evidences that suggest that students, regardless of what course they're pursuing, are very much engaged in entrepreneurial activities, and that's informal. Now we've gone ahead to actually move into practice, actually. So apart from the thought, the business school has now set up an entrepreneurship hub, which we call the UGBS Nest. Now to sort of groom budding entrepreneurs, give them office spaces, give them the needed support, let them start their businesses whilst on campus, and hopefully graduate them, whilst they leave campus in order to become a big company. So we're doing that in collaboration with institutions that have offered to help us, in making sure that these budding entrepreneurs can come out, can exit the program with viable, businesses. We had also been engaged in, programs that offer entrepreneurial opportunities. One of them is IAU, which my students have actually participated. We have 2 teams that are actually going on to hopefully win an award and have a startup capital. Now, beyond that, the universities and the broader university beyond the business school had also entered into those programs as well. The university has, apart from the UGBS Entrepreneur Next, the Entrepreneurship Hub, which is the UGBS Next that we have, the university itself has an innovation hub.
Professor Lord Mensah is with the School of Business at the University of Ghana. He says the University of Ghana is doing a lot to enable young men and women to think and act entrepreneurially.
Of course, we're trying to ensure that we're having graduates that are self-starters. And when we talk about entrepreneurs, not only those who build their own businesses, but those even who work for businesses have to be entrepreneurial in their thinking. I.e., are you able to help a business to generate new ideas, to come out with new products, to ensure that the existing products actually fit a certain opportunity? Are you able to identify opportunities that existing businesses can tap into? So not only business students actually becoming self-starters by creating their own businesses, but also being self-starters in organizations that they secure employment in. So we realized that the only way we could actually embed that particular orientation is to bring entrepreneurship at the forefront of the curriculum. So we actually doing all these things to make sure that there will be awareness, and beyond that there will be knowledge in doing so. And that's why the university is going on to that tangent.
Now there is a dire need to think productivity and minimize losses. And to boost employment, reduce post-harvest losses, a lot needs to be done to empower Africa's youth.
An area where the mindset has stopped evolving in too many ways. And I really find the demographic dividend of youth in Africa, of Latin America, and India and parts of Asia as something we've got to capitalize upon, and also start to use that momentum and your responses to stop the mindset that says, well, it can't be done. And I can't think of a better example than that snail story, taking a traditional industry, rebranding, refocusing, and having a go. A lot of people just dismiss this as an accident and it'll all be okay very soon. And the reason why I think that is simply incorrect is because the way we see supply chains, the way we see value chains, has for a long time been expressed by a Japanese expression, just in time. Now, just in time means you've got to line up all of your deliveries exactly. Well, when you start getting these kind of events, when you start getting COVID, when you start getting climate change, when you start getting all of those Armageddon of swans that I mentioned earlier, you cannot operate a supply chain as we have done over the last few generations. And of course, how does this translate? This translates into unemployment, and very tragically, unemployment for youth. Now, I know in this room there's a lot of talk about what am I going to do after I graduate, and I think our chair has given a few graphic illustrations of, frankly, people who have impressed everybody, and hopefully their example can spur us on.
The Dean of the School of Health and Allied Sciences at the University of Cape Coast and the project lead speaks about the interventions that have been put in place and the collaboration between the academia and industry that could solve most of the challenges of the world.
We also developed or designed a project and then workshop for industry and academia, where we brought industry and academia students together to brainstorm as to how to bridge this lacuna that exists between industry and academia. And I bet you, without the collaboration between industry and academia, there is no way we can drive industry. In fact, academia and industry should come together to drive industry. A case in point is this COVID pandemic. You know, a lot of vaccines were developed, And one of the vaccines we are very conversant with, the AstraZeneca. AstraZeneca was developed by Oxford University and AstraZeneca Pharmaceuticals. So that is one typical example of industry-academia collaboration. We hope that GBPI will bring something to bear that will actually equip our students to be able to be innovative, not just learners and then going out there to look for jobs which does not exist, but they will be innovative enough to be able to start their own industry or start their own businesses, let me put it that way. And then also, even when they are employed into existing companies, because of the innovative ideas, they can drive the company to the next level. And if we teach or we train our students in this way, that is this direction, they will be more useful to the nation than what we are doing now. So I think other schools, other educational institutions should adapt this mode of delivery, train our students to be thinkers, design thinkers, to be able to solve problems, because without this, there's no way we can develop as a nation. There's no way we can win ourselves from this quagmire of economic difficulties. So I think that is the best way to go, and that is what GBPI is pushing.
At the apex of the challenges the youth face is unemployment. Here at the University of Cape Coast, there is a deliberate effort to make students embrace entrepreneurship in order to change the narrative. Dr. Amachra Comfort is wooing young persons to rise up to the call.
So we know it is very difficult right now to even get employed by the government. Many of us are crying that we don't have jobs, and it is also interesting how many of us have ideas, but because we don't have the opportunities to be trained on how to come up with ideas and how to source for funding, how to move our ideas into viable ventures, many of us could have even been creating the jobs already. So it is important that right now, especially with the unemployment problems we have, entrepreneurship becomes an essential part of our training. It is inherent in our training. I think it's a lack of the critical skills we need in our curriculum to help our students be able to know that they can even be employers. So now that we have such opportunities to change our teaching methods and embed entrepreneurship into our training, we, the educators, we realize that we have challenges. So now we are also being trained to be able to identify the innovation and entrepreneurship in what we teach, so that our students can learn whilst they are in school, and when they come out, we create an environment, an enabling environment for them to be able to source for all the help they need and be able to move their ideas into solutions that can benefit everyone and even create job opportunities. So it's very important we all take entrepreneurship very seriously.
The program comprises 24 partnerships between UK universities and sub-Saharan African universities, as well as entrepreneurial ecosystem organizations, and runs in Kenya, Nigeria, and Ghana. The project is being implemented by the University of Cape Coast in Ghana and the University of St. Andrews in Scotland.
We believe that Africa has the resources. It's a matter of how efficiently manage those resources in order to move to the next step. And secondly, we believe that through partnership, through collaboration, we can leverage on established biotech industry in the UK and other places to be able to nurture the young biotech industry in Uganda. So as part of LEAN and part of this partnership, we will be, St. Andrews will be like a liaison to link our partners in Ghana with the biotech industry in the UK to either they could come in as investors or they could support, give mentorship to the young entrepreneurs in Ghana.
And there is a deliberate collaboration between businesses in Ghana and their counterparts in the UK as part of the project. It's about the project in Nyarko. Here's a wrap.
Science, currently up and running, will provide evidence of what can be achieved, such as UK-based Nyarko, which is opening a company in Ghana. Its Ghanaian founder hopes this will become a research and incubation hub for bioscientists in the country.
One of the huge bottlenecks for technologies that comes up in Africa is how it will make its way to the market. Most often than not, they don't make it to the certification point. But if we are there to be able to help them, then we would be looking at the best ways that these technologies will be able to come to the point whereby it makes economic sense to be supported.